1. Gold is more than a color. It is the ultimate symbol of the eternal. Because the metal itself does not tarnish, rust, or decay, ancient civilizations, from the Incas to the Egyptians, saw it as the flesh of the gods. While every other substance on Earth succumbs to the rot of time, gold remains defiant. In the Egyptian Book of the Dead, the skin of the gods was described as being made of pure gold, a literal manifestation of immortality. Psychologically, gold represents the highest stage of human achievement. It is the color of the golden ratio, the divine proportion found in nature, and the ultimate winner's medal. It is a frequency that signals, "I have arrived at the peak." However, this brilliance carries the Midas Trap. Historically, the obsession with gold has led to the collapse of empires and the freezing of the human heart. It is a color that promises immortality, but often at the cost of one's humanity. In our modern age, we see this code in the gold standard. Even when we moved away from physical coins, the psychological weight of gold remained the anchor for global trust. 2. Silver. If gold is the sun, silver is the moon. It is the color of reflection, fluid intelligence, and the futuristic. In alchemy, silver was linked to the internal self, the subconscious, and purity. While gold is aggressive and outward-facing, silver is receptive. It reflects the light of others, making it the color of the diplomat and the strategist. Today, we associate it with sleek technology and industrial precision. Think of the silver screen of Hollywood or the polished chrome of a high-end engine. Silver represents the cold, calculating side of our evolution. It is the color of the scalpel and the satellite. While gold stays the same forever, silver is dynamic. It reflects the world around it, making it the color of adaptability and modern prestige. In psychology, those who prefer silver are seen as introspective and sophisticated, valuing the inner mirror over external flash. But silver also carries the second-place stigma, the silver medal. It is the color of the persistent pursuer, the one who is almost at the top but remains in the shadow of the sun. 3. Brown. Brown is the most grounded color in our toolkit. It represents reliability, structure, and the soil from which life springs. Historically, it was the color of humility and poverty, worn by monks and peasants to show their connection to the earth and their rejection of worldly vanity. It is the color of wood, leather, and stone, the materials that built civilization. Psychologically, brown provides a sense of security. It is the anchor that prevents us from floating away into the abstract. But beneath this humble surface, brown has a macabre, hidden history that most people have forgotten. In the 16th to 19th centuries, one of the most popular shades for European artists was mummy brown. This wasn't just a poetic name. The pigment was literally made by grinding up ancient Egyptian mummies, both human and feline, and mixing them with white pitch and myrrh. This pigment was prized for its rich, transparent quality and its versatility in creating shadows. It wasn't until the early 20th century, when the supply of mummies finally ran out and artists realized they were literally painting with human remains, that the practice stopped. 4. Magenta. This is where the physics of our reality begins to break. If you look at a rainbow or a prism, magenta is not there. There is no magenta wavelength of light. Every other color corresponds to a specific frequency, but magenta is a bridge created entirely by your brain. When your eyes see both red light, the longest wavelength, and blue light, the shortest wavelength, at the same time, your brain has a problem. It cannot average them into green because green is in the middle of the spectrum and your eyes aren't seeing green. To solve this logical contradiction, your brain invents magenta to fill the gap between the two ends of the spectrum. It is a biological hallucination, a color that exists only in your mind to make sense of the void. Because it doesn't exist in the physical world, magenta represents the peak of creativity and the defiance of physical laws. It is the out-of-the-box color. When you see magenta, you are looking at the power of the human mind to create something out of nothing. 5. Cyan. Cyan is the color of the future and the high-tech sterile world. It sits exactly between blue and green, evoking the bioluminescence of the deep ocean and the glow of a high-resolution computer screen. In nature, cyan is rare, appearing in the shallow waters of tropical reefs or the ice of glaciers. But in our modern world, cyan has become the color of the cyber aesthetic. It sits at the heart of the digital frontier, representing high visibility, medical cleanliness, and the artificial light of the 21st century. It is the color of the clean energy and the glowing circuits of our devices. In modern psychology, cyan is used to represent a calm but high-energy state. It is the color of the sterile future, a world where the messy, organic browns of the past are replaced by the perfect, illuminated pixels of the screen. It is the color of the interface, the glowing boundary between the human and the machine. 6. Gray. Gray is often dismissed as boring, but in the architecture of power, it is the most vital color of all. It is the color of complexity, the gray area between the absolutes of black and white. While black and white represent the extremes of moral and physical certainty, gray represents the reality of the machine and the bureaucrat. It is the color of the modern metropolis, concrete, steel, and smog. It is the color of the gray eminence, the advisor who holds the real power behind the throne while staying out of the spotlight. Gray is the color of neutrality, wisdom, and the technical. While too much gray can evoke feelings of depression or the fog of war in design and psychology, it is the ultimate anchor. It is the shadow that gives every other color its depth. Without the neutrality of gray, the brilliance of gold would look gaudy, and the intensity of red would be blinding. It is the color of the storm cloud and the brain's matter. 7. Vantablack. In the 21st century, the war for color moved from the palace to the high-tech laboratory. Vantablack is a material made of carbon nanotubes that absorbs 99.96% of all visible light. Looking at it is a surreal experience. It creates a void so deep the human eye cannot perceive its dimensions, making three-dimensional objects appear as flat black holes. In a move that sent shockwaves through the art world, billionaire artist Anish Kapoor purchased the exclusive rights to use Vantablack in artistic endeavors. For the first time in the modern era, a color was legally copyrighted out of existence for everyone else. This sparked a legendary color war among artists, with creators like Stuart Semple developing the pinkest pink and Black 3.0 and forbidding Kapoor from using them in retaliation. It proves that even in an age of digital freedom, the primal urge to own a part of the light spectrum is as aggressive as it was in the time of the Caesars. We haven't outgrown the desire to monopolize reality. We've just traded snail glands for nanotechnology and legal contracts. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit subscribe.